Pride is something that everyone has an experience with, either because they've experienced it themselves or they've encountered someone or known someone personally that has suffered from it. There's no. Before I even say anything else, I would like to say that there is no benefit to pride. It does nothing. It gets nothing done. Actually, that's not true. It does get some things done, but in the right way, no. The definition of pride is a desire to be more important or attractive than others, failing to acknowledge the good works of others, and excessive love of oneself. Now, a lot of people that are very prideful will argue, I have talents, I'm smarter than everyone, it's undeniable. And, well, that may be true. There's always someone smarter than you. Always. You might be the smartest in some very, very niche topic. Sure. I think everyone has something that they are insanely smart in. Everyone has someone that's better than them. You might be the best at this one topic, but then there's someone out there that's better than you in several other topics. And just is a little below you in that topic. And that makes them better. So once you realize that you really are not the best, that's where you really nail pride and kind of bring it down. Pride to me is the most dangerous sin because it's not like the other 7 deadly sins, which, first of all, 7 deadly sins is not something referenced in the Bible. That's not, it's not a real thing. Every sin gets you to the same place. However, these are the 7 sins that are most like frowned upon, I think. And just arguably the worst. And for me, you'll realize if you look at that little chart with the 7 deadly sins with the skulls, everyone's seen it. Number 1 is pride. And the reason that is because pride is the sin of the devil. The devil is the devil and not an angel anymore because he had so much pride. He was, think about the definition. It's right here. Desire to be more important or attractive than others. Lucifer was described as an insanely attractive angel. His beauty was unmatched. Not to mention he was also insanely strong. However, God's beauty outscaled him, and so did Archangel Michael's strength. There was someone better than him, and yet his pride clouded him from being able to see that, and he thought he deserved to be God. He thought he deserved to be the man in the chair. He thought he deserved the throne, and that's where he fell, both metaphorically and literally. So the reason pride is so dangerous is if someone that is a legitimate angel can fall to it and become the definition of evil and all that's wrong in this world, what can it do to you? And I have that answer because I used to and still very much struggle with pride. I mean, as a child, I excelled in all of my classes. I was taller than all the other kids, funnier, more advanced. And I'm not going to deny that. I still think I'm more advanced than the majority of the people, and I think that's just a definitive fact. But I no longer take pride in that fact because there's so many times where it's kind of hindered my ability to grow properly. I think I missed out on a part of my childhood, and I'm still missing out on certain things because my pride doesn't let me go to them. I mean, I don't go to social events because my pride puts me up so far above other people my age that the majority of people my age anger me to such a level where I genuinely start to wonder if we're a different species. Like, there's a part of me deep in the back of my mind that believes that I'm not human and I'm better. And that's insanely dangerous. Because what pride does to a person is it sets them up for failure over and over and over again. Because not only do you give yourself impossible deadlines and impossible goals, things that you will never be able to achieve, yet you think that you will because, oh, you're so amazing. How could you not achieve that? it also makes you deny help from everyone. I mean, I've struggled, for a while, I thought the sin that I struggled with the most was lust. It's not. The sin that I struggle with the most is pride. The reason why I struggle with lust and all the other sins is because I'm too prideful to ask for help. Have I gotten better with those things on my own? Yes, I have. But I would have been able to do it way faster, and I probably would have already fixed the majority of my problems if I wasn't too prideful to ask for help. I still won't even ask my own mother for help when I'm doing school. If I'm struggling on an equation, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to keep nailing it over and over and over again till I have the question memorized. Not the solution, not the algorithm, not why this is the answer. I'm just going to run it so many times in my mind until I remember everything about it. And I'm not going to learn because I don't have any clue what I'm doing. I'm just memorizing. I'm just copying the original and then a memory and then another memory and another memory and another memory. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just copying. I'm learning the algorithm in my own way, which takes way longer, along with being far more frustrating because I'm too prideful to ask for help. There are so many characters in fiction where their whole thing is pride. And now there's times where it is kind of romanticized in a way, where it's made to seem like a positive, or it's made to seem better. And I don't understand why people do that. Because these characters, think of Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins, a show completely about romanticizing sins. Think of him, right? Everyone loves him because he's not a true representation of what pride does to a person. Which it's also because, he's the literal sin itself, so pride helps him. But then think about Vegeta. So many people relate to Vegeta because Vegeta struggles. I mean, he's the prince of the Saiyan warrior race. And he doesn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't hate Frieza because Frieza's done terrible things. He hates Frieza because Frieza did terrible things to him. And because Frieza was stronger than him. He originally also hated Goku because he was stronger than him. Originally, actually, it was because Goku was weaker than him, and he pitied him, and he hated him for that fact. And then, after Goku got stronger, he started hating him again. And then, obviously, now they're like rivals, kind of friends, whatever. And then think of the story of Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars, aka Darth Vader. Why does he become Darth Vader? He has these dreams planted in his mind by Emperor Palpatine, aka in this situation, kind of the devil. And he starts worrying, and he's very anxious, and he goes to Yoda, and Yoda's like, sorry, bro, I can't help you. No, that's not what Yoda says. But that's what Anakin perceives it as. He perceives the Jedi Order as useless, and he believes that he's born to be the strongest Jedi, and that he can conquer the dark side of the Force himself, and that's why he doesn't fear it. He doesn't fear the dark side, not because he has faith in the light or the Jedi Order, but rather because he has faith and so much self-love, an excessive love of oneself, in himself. And what ends up coming from that? He kills his wife, almost kills his children, gets belt to ass by his best friend, aka father figure slash brother slash all the things that Obi-Wan was doing. And then he gets put in a robotic suit in which his life, he suffers every moment of his life because he's in so much pain. And again, his pride takes it over for so long that he talks a lot in his mind. If you read the comics, he thinks constantly about overthrowing Chancellor Palpatine, the Emperor. But he never does it because his pride got him in a situation where he's too weak to, and his pride makes him angrier in that situation because he still won't admit that he did the wrong thing. Until, in the 6th episode, Luke comes along and redeems him. He humbles himself, takes out Chancellor, I almost said Pemperor, Chancellor Palpatine, aka the Emperor, with Luke's help. He accepts the help of his son, finally learns what it means to love someone else other than himself, and then dies. But he dies peacefully, and then he comes back as a Force ghost, which is beautifully written because you see the downfall of this man who originally was made to be, not made, but born to be the absolute best when it comes to the Force. His midichlorians are the highest, he has the most potential, all these things. You see a man who goes from the Order's favorite Jedi to a cripple in a suit where he's constantly struggling even just to walk. And then with the help from his loved ones, he finally manages to come back and reunites with his other loved ones that are dead, which is kind of a show of what'll happen in heaven, you know? Even if that's not how George Lucas intentionally did it, we can still interpret it that, because that's what's beautiful about art, is that you can interpret it however you want. The last thing I want to say is that I'm just going to make a summary. Pride is the most dangerous sin because it allows other sins to leak into you, and you don't have any help because you won't allow it because you think you're too great. Boom. That's it. Maybe I'll clip that and put that on TikTok. Anyways, today's item, let me be back. I'll go get it. Standing up to show you guys this one. This is, I forgot its name, but this is the weapon that the strongest man alive in the anime One Piece, Whitebeard, this is the weapon that he uses. And originally I wasn't going to show this weapon, but I figured it works with this video because Whitebeard is the strongest man alive. He used to clash almost daily, not daily, but, you know, for days on end, weeks and weeks, and would casually meet with the Pirate King, and would also clash against Sengoku, the fleet admiral of the Navy, the world's Navy, along with the Navy's hero, Garp. So he's a top tier. He's one of the strongest people, but he has no desire to be the king. He has no desire to be the king of the pirates. Instead, he humbles himself into a servant of his people, aka his crew, aka his family. He humbles himself into just someone who wants to make sure that his people are safe, both while he's alive and after he's alive. He puts it all on the line. He puts all of his years of collecting treasure, collecting powerful items, becoming powerful himself, he puts it all on the line to save one person in a war called the Marineford War or Summit Peak War, I think. And he puts it all on the line. Years of history, years of being one of the most feared and respected pirates on the sea. He puts it all on the line just to save one person. That's not even his blood son. None of them are his blood family, but he still welcomes them in out of not love for oneself, but love for others. He brings them in and gives them new lives along with the chance to be free. Because in the One Piece world, the government is very restricting. They're the world government. They're the bad guys, not the pirates. Obviously, there's some pirates that are bad guys, but Whitebeard's not one of them. But he gives these people the chance to be completely free under him. And it's not like he's making them wash the deck or work on his ship. They willingly do that out of respect and love for him because that's how he treated them. He gives them new lives. And even at just the risk of losing one of them, he takes all of them, including his entire fleet, to go and save him. And I think he's a great depiction of someone who normally and should be, from a human standpoint, prideful, but instead, he's very humble. He doesn't strive for greatness or further greatness. All he wants is to have a safe family and a safe compound and commune for these people that are quote unquote lost, which I think is amazing. I think it's kind of beautiful. I think it's very well written. Anyways, that's the end of today's video. I'm on a posting daily streak, by the way. The videos are getting shorter as I make them, which I said was going to happen. The first 3 videos were very long. So if you're new, I would appreciate if you go watch those. Simply because you can kind of see my progress in getting better and talking to you guys. But it also just gives you a lot of more perspectives about the things that I say. And you know what? If you're using this video, if you clicked on this video randomly while you're like, I don't know, playing Minecraft or doing a chore, there's no harm in putting on one of my videos that are longer, right? Because you're just going to go watch another video anyways. So instead of watching a bunch of little 10-minute videos, why don't you just watch my 40-minute video? I think that's a good idea. I think you should consider it. Anyways, good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Still nobody's told me if good noon is a thing. Goodbye.